It's time for the Fantasy Football Guys with off-season updates and next season guesses. Here they are, Lyle Conkeel and Kevin Moore, the Fantasy Football Guys.
That's right, bitches. We are the Fantasy Football Guys and Eagles fans.
Oh, yeah.
So you know we're going to be talking about that shit.
Most death.
Right. We are netcasting live, streaming live. It seems like it's been months since we've done this show, so I don't know how to do this. Anyway, on youtube.com/fantasyfootball guys, that's where you can catch the liveness video. Hello.
What up?
But if you're really smart and don't want to see our faces, you can catch this as a podcast, of course, on iTunes, and also you can check it on SoundCloud and Stitcher and a number of other places.
There's a couple places.
Yeah.
We could do it.
We're going to have look, at this point, since OTAs have kicked on, really the season has started. So this season is going to be really cool. DraftKings is going to be back. We're going to be doing some stuff with Buzz's barbecue sauce, which is awesome.
Yeah, man.
We were just talking to Buzz earlier about some stuff. So, yeah, it's all going to be good. It's all going to be good.
Give him a plug, Kevin. That's www.buzzesbbq.com. That's BUZZBBQ.com. He's got some delicious flavors.
Make sure you tell him Kevin and Lyle sent you. Because,
Yeah, but check him out. These guys, this shit is the bomb, as they used to say.
Yeah, and they used to say word, too. But
Word.
All right, so a couple things have happened since we were up here last.
No.
The first two picks used to be teams by the name of the Titans and the Browns.
Yeah.
Since then, as everybody knows at this point, the Rams jumped a huge amount from 15 to 1.
Yeah.
And basically sold the farm.
They did.
And allegedly the Eagles were in on that too. But now the Eagles have jumped up to the second spot with Cleveland, giving up this year's first, next year's first, a third from this year. They had two. So a third from this year.
A fourth?
A second from 2017.
Right, a second from this.
And the Eagles are also getting a fourth pick for next year. I think there's a third pick next year
and
as
there's
well.
an 18, too.
A what?
A 2018 pick as well. Yeah. I'll look it up. There is, dude. I'm not kidding.
I think you're full of it.
Why would I make that up?
I'm not thinking you're making it up. I just think you're wrong.
I'm not.
Okay, so from NFL Network.
Okay.
Eagles get second-round pick, and a 17th pick in, you're right, second round in 18.
I told you.
Yeah, fourth-round pick next year, and the Browns get this year's first-round pick, a 16 third, which is one of the two Eagles have, a 16 fourth, a 17 first, and an 18 second.
Yeah.
So that's a lot.
It's a lot.
And Lyle and I were talking about this via text. We try not to have conversations like this before the show because, we have a show.
All right.
So basically what we're looking at is this is only going to go one of two ways. Lyle says if he's the next Andrew Luck, as Mike Mayock says, then
well, all right. So, but
they've stolen it.
Yeah, but there's a big caveat to this.
Right.
You're assuming that Wentz doesn't go number one.
Well, I think that
draft experts right now are kind of split on whether it's going to be Goff or Wentz number one overall.
Right. See, I have no interest in Goff.
I know you don't.
Because I think we have Goff already.
In Sam Bradford?
Skinny leg, muscular upper body, but, how many times has Bradford been out with leg injuries?
The thing is, I read these articles about Wentz, right? You know, and I think Gil Brandt, I think, was like, it was one of the best pro days I've ever seen,
yes,
out of a quarterback. And I was like, oh, wow, that's pretty impressive. And then they asked him who the best pro day he ever saw was. You know who it was?
Yeah.
Sam Bradford.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, well, I really hope he's not that good.
Well,
and then
I think
to top it all off,
yeah,
he said, he reminds me of Joe Flacco. And I was like, what the fuck?
Well, Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
He has a ring.
Yeah.
Well, Ray Lewis won a Super Bowl.
He was on a team that won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But he didn't win him the Super Bowl. He was okay.
Yeah.
He got a good contract out of it.
Yeah.
But he didn't Peyton Manning or Tom Brady his way there.
Well, Peyton Manning was with the
prior
Colts
to last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
that scares
going to
me
go one or two ways.
Scares me a touch.
Right. He can be the next Andrew Luck.
It goes one of three ways, Kevin.
Okay.
One is
he's either awesome and it's a steal.
Sure.
He's Bobby Hoying and the team is a shithole for the next decade.
Agreed.
Because of the picks that we've given up.
And the third one is that he's a Ram.
Right.
And we're talking about Goff now.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's no guarantee that Wentz isn't going to go number one.
Well, there's at this point, it's Wednesday, the 20th, right?
Right.
So
20 bitches smoke out.
Right. So there's still 8 days left between right now and the draft, first round of the draft.
Right.
Okay. So I have to imagine that phone calls were made before this trade was settled. We're interested in Wentz, Ram GM. Just between us, are you thinking Goff or are you thinking Wentz? So I don't think the interest from the Eagles is really big on Goff. It's huge on Wentz. Peterson's like, he's got all the tools, he can be there, blah, blah, blah. So they're not going to make the trade to set to number 2 unless they have some, backroom assurances that it's going to be Wentz waiting for them there.
I'm not saying that that's not true.
Because otherwise it would be stupid to roll the dice and to get the guy you don't want.
Yeah.
Do I trust it? No.
That's my point.
But I have to imagine that,
Like if Wentz goes, do they draft Goff, you think? Or do they go Tunsil?
I don't know. Maybe they trade back with the Cowboys and get their picks back. You saw Draft Day, right, with Kevin Costner?
Yeah,
of
course.
Awful.
Yes.
That never happens. But it was good television.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess they feel either of those guys is better than what they have, which may be true. I would prefer them have taken a cornerback there. Take Hargreaves there, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then they're probably not going to be very good next year. Trade up, because next year's quarterback crop is supposed to be much better than this one.
Supposedly,
right. With more guys,
But the thing is, so here's the thing, though. But if you can get your guy, right, if you think this is Andrew Luck, and Peterson's been around quarterbacks a long time. One thing I do trust his judgment on is the quarterback position. You know what I mean? I think he knows it pretty well. I think that if you think this is if this is your Andrew Luck, you go get him. And
he's worth that number one.
They didn't trade the farm, right? But they traded a lot. They traded a lot for him. It wasn't the whole farm, but they did trade a lot, and it's a little bit unnerving to give up that amount of stuff for a single player. But the thing is, the Eagles are never done either. So they might end up trading another player for another first-round pick next year or wheel and deal. They're always doing stuff. So I'm not too concerned about their lack of picks coming up. They're always wheeling and dealing in the draft when Roseman's in charge anyway.
Yeah.
They've been doing it for, a decade and a half now. So that doesn't concern me that much. The thing that concerns me is him bombing, right?
Right.
If he's
get
good,
a lousy quarterback and no picks,
right.
It sets the franchise back. I said a decade. It's probably more like 6 years, 5 years.
At least 3. So
well, look how long it's taken. I mean, obviously it took 4 years for the Redskins to bounce back and win a weak division with what a 10-6 record or something, 9-7. The Redskins traded the farm to get Robert Griffin third. And what have they? They were lucky that they took Cousins later on in the draft.
It looked good up front. It did.
It looked great the first year. It was like, wow, what a bargain.
Then he got hurt.
Right? And then the coaches are out, and it's like, well, this isn't our guy. And I think that's Sam Bradford's problem. Peterson holds. I didn't bring this guy in. I owe him nothing. So, we're talking about the Eagles and what they gave up. The Rams gave up their first-round pick this year, which is number 15 overall. Their first-round pick next year. Both of their second-rounds pick this year. They had one of their own, and then they got one from the Eagles in the Bradford trade. So they have 2 number 2s to give up. Their third-round pick next year. Yeah. Titans are also tossing in their fourth-round pick and sixth-round picks this year. So that almost seems like more equitable.
I'll tell you what it is. Tennessee's going to be fucking awesome.
They are. And you know what? Cleveland's still going to suck.
Yeah, they're going to suck.
Sorry, Browns fans.
But I really think, they're putting the pieces in place. We saw a little spark of it last year, right? They weren't great. But,
You're talking about the Titans now.
Yeah, the Titans.
Yeah, not the Browns.
No, not the Browns.
Not the Browns.
Sorry. Yeah, Tennessee. But we saw some of the pieces, right? We're starting to see it a little bit. And now they have that much, I don't know what you would call it, equity, I guess, in future NFL stock.
Yeah.
Right? Fuck me.
Well, here's the thing. At number 8, you're still going to get a blue chip player.
You're
going to, they don't really need Ezekiel Elliott, but Would they take him? Maybe.
Yeah, I think they take him.
I think they would probably take one of
I
the
think he's
three.
gonna end up at the Cowboys, but
probably one of the three left tackles, offensive tackles that are out there, Conklin or Staley or Stanley.
Stanley. Yeah.
And I doubt that Tunsil's going to be available at 8.
He won't.
You never know.
He won't. It's so funny that everybody's draft just completely like on the mock draft we did 2 weeks ago. They completely shit the bed in the past couple of days.
There's a game I play. It's Pick First or whatever, pickfirst.com, where you actually can trade picks up and back, and you can actually. I love it. You can get a grade.
Why did you not tell me about this?
I told you about it last year.
It sounds amazing. Yeah, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
No.
Anyway, well, it's fun. It's a lot of fun, and you get graded at the end. The best grade I've ever gotten was a C.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'm sitting here going,
what are you, the Eagles?
Yeah, I'm sitting here. I'm kicking ass. It's like at the number 8 pick, I trade back to like number 11 with the Bears and get their number 2 pick. And then, sometimes I'll trade back a little bit if the draft is going my way. And I'll be like, okay, I get Hargraves. I get in the number 2 slot. I pick a tackle who's pretty good. And I just get all these players that are, A and B graded. And then at the end, it's like D-. I'm like, how can I have all these B's and get a D-?
Is it like single player? You're just playing against a computer?
You're going against a computer.
Okay.
Yeah. But, you can watch all the other guys pick.
What's the algorithm that rates your performance there?
I guess you get certain number of points per move or whatever. So, let me check the URL because I don't want to give wrong info.
I don't know because it reminds me of that virus game, the Plague Incorporated on iOS. It may be on Android too, but I don't know anybody that uses Android because it's for poor people. I'm just kidding. But Plague Incorporated is fucking amazing, and it came out a long time ago, but I still play the shit out of it because. But you can figure out how to work the system, and basically wipe out humanity every time.
Yeah, it's called first-pick.com.
All right.
So
I'm assuming that's. My bad. I missed the R in first.
And I'm guessing the sites that came up. Yeah, I was telling
Fist-pick.com is not the same.
Yeah, I was telling my wife the first time I wanted to search for Dick's Sporting Goods, I typed in dicks.com.
That's a big mistake.
It's like going to Space Dicks on Reddit. You don't make that mistake twice.
Space Dicks.
Have you been to Space
Dicks? Oh,
yeah.
Really? Many times. I peruse daily. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm a daily.
I'm sure that
you
daily
do. Space Dicks guy.
I'm sure that you do.
Big fan.
So, the thing is, and we, on Twitter and in various and sundry places, like, what do you think of the trade? I'm an Eagles fan for most of my life, so I'm apprehensive. The
thing is,
I'm not optimistic.
It only works if they get Wentz. And here's the thing. Today, here's a headline. Rams keep suspense high by hosting quarterbacks Carson Wentz and Jared Goff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're doing their due diligence, right? They're going through both of them.
Well, you should, because they gave up a boatload as well.
Right.
So now this, of course, Sam Bradford, pretty pissed.
Now he's all upset.
Yeah, because he just signed a 2-year contract. The source says he's hot. Who wouldn't be? This is Philly saying, we don't see you as a long-term answer. He's mad and wants to show everyone who's best. Well, you know what?
Good.
He probably has a starting gig this year. And if he stays hot, he'll probably keep it.
They gave him some scratch, too. Yeah.
And if he plays well enough, they'll trade him at the end of the season, bring Wentz in, and they'll get their second-round pick back or whatever. So... Yep. No, they're not going to get a third, maybe. But anyway, there's options there, and if he does well, he can continue to play. But it's got to be difficult, rolling into a spot where you're just keeping a seat warm for a kid who's you 6 years ago,
Right. I don't know, man. It's an interesting series of events, and I'm curious as to what else is going to go down before the draft. I mean, you might say, oh, okay, well, these guys made their move. That's it. And that's fine. But there's a lot of other teams out there, too. And not only that, the Eagles made their move for the first pick, but, who knows? I mean, they have dealt, and made trades mid-draft before. Totally possible. A lot of other teams out there are going to do that. I don't think the 49ers will. Chip's not a big wheeler and dealer on draft day.
It's not his call. He's not the GM.
I mean, he'll still be involved in the decision.
I'm sure that he will. But you know what? The players that people move up in drafts for, I mean, significantly like this, are quarterbacks, and that's it. Paxton Lynch would be the third best guy. We're talking about giving up next year's number one. Nobody's going to do that to get Ezekiel Elliott.
Probably not.
Right. Chargers don't need him. They just got Melvin Gordon. They're at 3. Cowboys are at 4, and that's where he goes.
Here's what bothers me, though. I can't believe the Eagles would like the Rams. Obviously, right? They make this trade because they can get the one, and they can get anybody they want. Yeah. So they can get the right person, right? So
they take their time doing it.
They got dibs, right? I can't imagine the Eagles would give up this much and then not draft Goff. I can't imagine they wouldn't, right? So if Wentz goes number 1, Goff's an Eagle.
Yeah, he is.
They're not going to draft Tunsil.
No.
Right?
Well, I think they would if they were third. I think, but you draft up and you give up those kind of things to get a quarterback. I don't see. I think Goff is more ready to step in this year and play. But I think Wentz is a better he's got a bigger arm. He's a bigger kid. He's proportionally, better as far as, his legs aren't twiggy like Goff's are.
Yeah, but are the Rams looking for a guy to step in right away?
Yes.
I don't know.
Dude, they got friggin' Nick Foles.
Okay. I think Wentz is better than him.
Oh yeah, but I think Goff is their guy. Take the Cal kid. They're in LA.
It's really gonna suck if they take Wentz, number 1.
Well, I think Howie gets run out of Philadelphia on a rail if Wentz is taken first, because you don't make this trade to get the second best guy that you want.
They're hosting both of them. All right. I mean, they don't bring both of them in for no reason. Plenty of teams have announced who they were going to draft number 1 overall well before the draft.
Oh yeah.
So they could say right now, they could come out and say right now, hey, we're drafting Goff.
It'd be great if they took Elliott.
That'd be amazing.
With Gurley and Elliott back there. That'd be awesome.
That would be a hell of a 1-2 punch.
Yeah, but they have, I think, was it Case Keenum now as their starter or something?
Something.
So yeah, they're taking a cue. So it's probably going to be Goff.
I think that's a wishful thinking there.
Well,
do you think Wentz is a better candidate?
I think he's a better long-term candidate.
So why wouldn't they take the better candidate?
Because they need somebody to step in now.
I don't think they do.
Plus, the kid goes to Cal, and it's in L.A., so maybe there's a thing there.
I don't know. I don't see how that's
I,
relevant.
I may be grasping at straws.
That's not relevant
here
at all. I mean,
it is if you're the 49ers.
It would be if you're the 49ers, maybe.
Because Cal's right there.
Right. Maybe that's, but really, I don't, I mean, I guess it's a bigger school.
I guess maybe if it's a USC quarterback going to, the Rams might be.
Right. That might be a bigger, put asses in the seats kind of thing. But
I think, nobody knows outside of football, nobody besides people like you and me, NFL Network watchers, they don't know who Carson Wentz is.
No, that's true.
Because he's, North Dakota State.
Yeah.
Where's North Dakota?
Yeah,
Isn't that Canada?
School.
Right.
Plus, he's battled injuries and stuff,
Right. Well, he's a redshirt senior, so he's 23. He's kind of old. But Goff is a guy, if you're in California, you know that guy's name. If you're a sports fan at all.
You do.
And they're trying to sell season tickets. So I think it does matter a little bit because you're in California and he's a California kid.
That's a fairly decent argument, I guess. It's still a reach, but I guess that's a decent argument. I guess the problem that I have is...
Oh, I got a lot of problems. Not just that
it's not 100% certain, and if they... Wow, you suck so bad.
That almost was like the
worst. Kevin just tried to, for the people listening, he just tried to throw his empty bottle into the trash can, and I mean, it was just nothing but rim wall.
It was around there.
No.
It looked like a Shaq free throw. It bounced around a little. Mm-mm. I hit the desk right next to it, and it went up.
Right, the desk.
Well, which is right next to the trash can.
That's like, and I would guess that you are 6 feet away, probably. And
I'm 6.5, 7 at least.
Okay, he's at 6 or 5 feet away, and he was bragging about hitting the desk, which is next to the trash can. Here's the thing: that's like hitting the backboard next to the rim.
Right.
Yeah.
I was in the neighborhood, bro.
This isn't fucking horseshoes, pal.
I was in the neighborhood.
This is not horseshoes.
I was in the neighborhood.
All right, you don't get credit for a leaner. Okay, this is fucking. It was horrible. Anyway, yeah, I guess my biggest worry is that Wentz goes number 1, and then what the fuck do the Eagles do? Do they try to trade back out of the spot desperately? and lose more.
You mean as Howie's last move as the GM of the Eagles?
Right.
Because you don't trade up there unless you know your guy's going to be there.
Yeah, I don't know that that's true. I mean, maybe they'll take either one. You know what I mean? I got to believe if Wentz goes number 1, they take Goff.
I believe that's true.
Yeah. And then what?
I think that's a shitty move.
It is a terrible move. If they sell all of that stuff and don't get the guy they wanted.
Or you know what?
What?
Maybe they've been talking about Wentz is this and Wentz is that, and really they mean
want
Goff is this and Goff is
I don't
that.
buy that. I don't buy it. I mean...
I would buy that more than the fact that they moved up to number 2, hoping their guy would be there.
Here's what I think, okay? And
wait, stop
so
the
that
presses.
makes it fucking relevant, pal. I read it on the internet.
Oh.
I'm kidding. It came out of my brain. I think they're fine. I think they're fine with either one.
I think they're better with either one.
I think they prefer Wentz, maybe slightly, but I think they believe both of them are franchise quarterbacks that can take you all the way, right? Whether that's true or not, that's a totally different discussion, and remains to be seen. There's been plenty of number 1 quarterbacks that have not been great. Alex Smith,
Jamarcus Russell.
Fucking
Ryan Leaf.
Ryan Leaf, wow.
He wasn't a number 1, but he was a number 2.
He was number 2, right?
And he played like it too.
Yeah. Oh. Of course, Bradford.
Bradford. He came out playing pretty well. I think in a different situation, he might have been all right.
He was in a different situation last year.
He was coming off of 2 years of not playing football from injuries. So.
Just saying.
Yeah, but you're just saying stupid shit.
No, I'm not just saying stupid shit. I'm saying that he sucked every year except for his very first year. He was terrible.
Yeah.
Including last season.
Right. And I'm saying last year, at least he had some reasons for not playing well. Toward the end of the season, he started playing like the guy that they were hoping he
played
would
a little bit better, but in that fucking frenetic offense, who the fuck knows?
I was kind of excited to see how he was going to play in Peterson's offense.
We're still going to see. And if he ends up being amazing this year, then we have 2 quarterbacks. And
I think if he plays amazing this year, it's not going to be I'm the captain of this football team and I'm in charge of it and I'm going to lead them to victory. It's fuck this. I'm going to show them they made the wrong choice kind of play, and maybe that's better.
Fine.
I don't know.
Fine. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
By the way, just in case you're wondering, we put the explicit tag on our podcast.
Yeah, we did. Fuck.
Yeah, for 10 years or 11 years, we didn't have it.
Yeah.
We were restricted. But now.
Fuck it.
Right.
And I drop F-bombs a lot if you haven't listened to Random yet.
He does.
So I don't know, man. I think that in today's NFL, you don't trade this much without wanting the franchise guy. And if you do all that, why the fuck did you just pay not only your starting quarterback, but your backup quarterback a whole fuck ton of money?
Yeah. Well, they structured Bradford so that the second year, it doesn't cost them a lot to cut him loose. Yeah, they're going to end up paying him $22 million this year, more than likely.
It's a lot.
It is. But next year they can cut him loose with no cap, trouble at all. The thing that really amazes me is the Chase Daniel thing.
Yeah, man.
They're going to pay a third string quarterback a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Yeah. And, he's probably going to be the backup to start, and whoever they draft will be third string. And
depends on I don't think that's true. Maybe. I don't think that's true. I mean, honestly, if they draft one of the quarterbacks, which we are speculating they're going to do, right? But it hasn't happened yet. So
I don't know. Maybe they traded up to get Tunsil. Maybe they see him as the next Jonathan Ogden.
Maybe. I mean, that's possible. Again, what you said I think rings true. You don't trade all this without you're going for a quarterback when you do that.
For the most
part,
yeah.
I honestly believe that they wouldn't have traded up had St. Louis not done it, because I had obviously Tennessee's not going to take a quarterback. I don't think they would. Right. Yeah. I thought that they would draft Tunsil.
Everybody thought they would.
Right.
See, the thing is, though, they're going all the way back to 15.
They are.
Maybe they're going to get a decent tackle there, but
maybe. But they have room now, so they can move up if they want.
They can. They have picks.
Yeah. So they got a lot of shit
they can offer their first and the number 2 to move up to number 8.
Right. So
presumably.
So, I don't know. It really threw kind of a curveball at the Philadelphia Eagles, I think. They moved to 8. I think they thought they could get one of their guys, whoever that may be. Maybe they were looking at the quarterbacks. Maybe they were also saying, hey,
we'll take a cornerback.
We'll take a corner. We'll take Elliott. We'll take right. These people were okay with that. But when St. Louis jumped, they knew that immediately one of the quarterbacks was going off the board at number 1.
And some quarterback needy teams in front of them.
I mean, you got Cleveland right there. So
right.
They're probably going to take the second one.
Right. And, Dallas could take. And
Dallas could take.
49ers
could take. There's a bunch of them there. So I felt like they were like, well, if we're going to get one of these quarterbacks, we got to leap. We got to leap to 2 now. We have to do it. So that's what precipitated this move. I think it's really interesting to kind of speculate on what happens if Wentz goes number 1, because I don't see them making this move without wanting to draft Goff, and if they draft Goff, who's more pro ready,
the brilliant move, if they told the Eagles we're going to take Goff,
would be to take Wentz.
And offer a trade, and see if they can't grab another pick
for it. Which the Eagles would probably have to go for at that point.
Oh, yeah, because, at that point, they'd be bent over the desk with,
It's a dick move, though. And as much as people change teams and shit, that can ruin a career.
It would be hard for...
it's not a gentleman's...
For Gronky, or whatever the hell the Rams owner's name is, Stan Greinke, or... Anyway, to look Jeff Lurie in the eye at the owners' meeting,
Well, not only that, but...
Sorry for being a douchebag.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of... There's a lot of other stuff that goes on. There's a lot of backroom deals in the NFL. It's kind of like it's kind of like being an attorney, though. Like, you can be on different sides, defense and a prosecutor, but still be good friends and be like, look, you hook me up, I'll hook you up. I mean, that's kind of how shit goes down.
After all that went down, Kraft and Goodell are still friends.
Yeah, I don't buy that for a second.
But that they're friends?
Yeah.
Well, friends.
I don't think Goodell has any friends. I think he's a fucking robot.
I think he has 32 friends, or he wouldn't be where he is.
I don't think he does. Yeah. He's a powerful man.
Well, I don't think they're like, hey, let's invite Roger out to the house for the weekend. But they appreciate his business acumen and et cetera, or he wouldn't be where he is.
Maybe. The thing is,
he serves at their pleasure.
Currently, yes. I mean, that's true. But at the same time, like, removing him, who do you put in? Well, so I think that's the question.
They're grooming the next guy.
It's not necessarily, he's our guy. He's the guy for now.
Condi Rice.
I'd love to see it, man.
Whatever.
I mean, I think it would be interesting.
She's an attorney. We'll see what happens.
She is an attorney. Is Goodell an attorney?
Yeah, of course.
Is he?
I think so.
Do you have to be an attorney?
No.
Is that like a prerequisite?
Well, since you negotiate, with a team of attorneys, the TV deals.
Yeah, but that's the fucking team does that.
What team?
The team of attorneys does that bullshit.
Yeah, but he's still sitting at the table. He's got to know what the
I'm sure he's sitting.
There's a lot of whereases and therefores. He's got to know what the hell they're talking about.
I'm sure he does. Yeah.
It's like
sounds like a shit job, actually.
Yeah, for that shit job, he's pulling like $30 million.
Still,
I'd muscle through some 10-hour shit.
I'm
days
guessing
for
he was already rich before he took the gig.
Well, maybe.
Yes, he was.
He's been in the NFL, for most of his career.
Yeah, he was fucking rich long before that.
Yeah. No, he's not rich.
He's wealthy.
Yeah. There's a big difference.
There is a big difference.
Like Chris Rock said, Shaq is rich. The white man who signs his check, he's wealthy.
Yeah.
Chris Rock's words, not mine. So today was
a good bit.
Today's 420.
The 420, bitches.
As we all know that, well, maybe not all of us, but most of us know, probably everybody listening to this damn show.
Yeah.
420 is the marijuana holiday. Le'Veon Bell spent his 420 getting a random drug test.
Is that right? They gave him a random drug test on 420?
Yeah.
That's funny as shit.
So
they shouldn't be able to fuck with him in the offseason. They really should adopt the UFC's policy. And the UFC has one of the strictest anti-doping policies in the world. They adopted the USADA, which is the U.S., fucking against the Performance Enhancing Drugs Association, whatever it is. But anyway, they adopted their list basically of banned substances, and they adopted like sort of their methods, and they employ them to go out and test the people. And what they have is they have competition and they have non-competition testing. Right, so competition testing is, I believe it's like 2 months prior to the fight up to 6 hours after the fight or something like that, right, where they test for all kinds of random shit. off-season.
Performance enhancing, not recreational.
Yeah. Well, right. So there's a stricter one that happens 6 hours prior to the weigh-in, which is the day before the fight, and it goes to 6 hours after. Right. So they're tested prior to the fight and after the fight.
Is that what before and after means? Is
yeah.
Prior?
Yeah. Prior and after. Prior and post, Kevin.
Thank you.
Yeah. Dick. Anti-post. But they also do non-competition testing, if they have a contract with the UFC, basically. So it can happen at any time, and you have to let them know where you are within reason, so they can show up at a fucking, a restaurant you're at, theoretically.
They hand you a cup.
Not hand you a cup. They have to witness, and usually they take blood too.
Wow.
They don't fuck around. But
so the old fake dick won't work?
No. But they test for different substances during those different windows. So in non-competition, they test for anabolic steroids, HGH, testosterone, real performance-enhancing shit, right? Like super hardcore stuff that you have to be on for long periods of time, which makes sense. Yep. But closer to fight, and again, in off-season, they don't give a fuck about recreational shit. I don't know if you heard about John Jones getting busted for cocaine.
No.
Do you know who John Jones is?
He's like pound for pound the best.
Correct.
Martial arts.
So he got caught for he tested positive for cocaine. And he didn't get suspended or anything. The thing was, it was a non-competition test, and they accidentally tested him for cocaine. They weren't even supposed to. And then they released those results. It was a totally botched thing. They shouldn't have even tested him for it because they don't give a fuck if he's doing coke.
Right.
When he's not fighting.
Right. That's not performance enhancing unless you do it right before the fight.
They don't give a shit.
Right.
So, but, Nick Diaz, on the other hand, who fought Anderson Silva, they tested him after his fight with Anderson Silva, and it turns out, he tested positive for marijuana. Now, their marijuana test is super high, dude. Like, you basically have to be stoned while you're fighting. In order to...
You yourself have to be super high.
You have to be super fucking high when they test you, basically, in order to pop on this thing. I don't really understand the science. It's like 150 milliliters part. Right, it's fucking shit for blood. I don't know. But how it was explained, the way I read it, you have to be stoned, basically, while you're fighting, which could be performance enhancing, right? You might not feel as much pain, whatever. You might be more relaxed.
Maybe.
So I get that.
Or if they do it, a few hours after the fight, maybe you sparked up in the locker room in the post.
It's 6 hours. So if you can't not get blazed up, 6 hours after.
Well, I would buy that more than I would buy somebody blazing up before.
Apparently they tested him pretty quickly after the fight, and
maybe he needed to take the edge off.
He popped, and he popped at a really high level. So, but I think the NFL should adopt that policy. Listen, it's none of their business what they do in the offseason. They're not doing anything.
Well, it's a morals thing, and
it's
blah,
not.
Blah, blah.
Then fuck your morals.
It's not my morals.
It's none of your business.
I agree, but I'm taking their point of view, and that's what
Just
they're
saying.
They're heroes. Kids look up to them. Blah 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 blah.
Okay.
Well, you know what? If you don't test them for it, the kids will never know they were smoking weed.
And not only that, they all fucking smoke weed. So stop being stupid.
Yeah, take the NBA stance. You know they're smoking weed. Don't even test for it.
Yeah, don't test for it.
It's going to be legal everywhere in 2-3 years.
Who gives a shit? Do they test them for alcohol? No.
Well, if you get a DUI, you got a problem.
Right, but that's illegal. I get that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you can be in Colorado right now if you play for the Broncos and smoke weed completely legally.
But still get popped.
But it's still banned. But there are other substances that are completely legal to ingest, but also are performance-enhancing drink, motherfucker.
Speak of which, if you're drinking.
Performance-enhancing that you're not allowed to take if you're competing in shit. So it's kind of a back-and-forth thing. But I think that in the off-season, shut the fuck up. Like, don't even bother with this dumb shit. Anyway, I don't even know how we got on that tangent, but 420, yeah. So smoke up, bitches.
Yeah, there you go. So let's see. Yeah, it all changes now with this because the quarterback's going to be off the board. Now you've got Cleveland sitting at number 8. Do they go for a guy like Miles Jack there, or you think Bosa will still be available?
So it gets really interesting
should they take a tackle to go on the other end of Joe Thomas?
Well, with both of those teams going out, right? It really shakes up the draft quite a bit. And I've seen really compelling arguments for a bunch of things going different ways, right? I see that, like, for example, the Cowboys are now landing Jalen Ramsey, right? Because the two quarterbacks go, Tunsil goes to the Chargers, and now the Cowboys can get the top defensive back in the draft. And how would they not do that? Right. So I don't think Bosa makes it that far, but I think Elliott might. I think Miles Jack might. I think it's possible Buckner does. Bosa could fall, but I think it's really unlikely. So I think they end up with either Ezekiel Elliott, which would be terrible for his career, or Miles Jack, which will be terrible for his career.
Well, the thing is I like Cleveland. I like the little team that could.
Yeah, I do too.
They got Robert Griffin III now, dude, and I like their head coach. I think he's going to do some things for them. So, maybe things are turning up there. They're playing a tough division though, so we'll see.
I don't disagree. But I think Tennessee now, I think they still go offensive line. I think they take their pick between who's there.
I think Decker will be there.
If Decker's there, they take him. If Conklin somehow makes it, they probably take him over Decker.
I don't think Stanley will be there. Conklin might be there.
Stanley, it's possible. Who the hell knows?
Well, I've seen this one draft has Elliott falling all the way to the Dolphins at 13.
At 13. Yeah, that's possible. Yeah. I've seen drafts where they ended up with Kevin Dodd, or they ended up with Paxton Lynch. Like everybody's confused now because these two picks, and we told you guys that 2 weeks ago when we did our mock draft. We were like, this is all going to fucking change.
Yeah, and it changed by the next week because the Rams had done their thing.
Right.
But
the Rams moving was one thing, right? So that's one swap. It makes things a little bit weird.
That was a big one.
But now the Eagles jumping up, quarterbacks are going 1 and 2 now. You know it, right?
Yeah, so Daniel Jeremiah, who's a former GM and actually was offered a couple GM jobs this last offseason, but basically said, no, I like seeing my kids go to school every day. And seeing them get off the bus.
Oh, good for him.
So good for him. So, he's saying that, and this is reading Daniel Jeremiah's words, Carson Wentz is probably a better fit for the Rams, but all signs point to Goff landing in L.A. And then about Carson Wentz, he said, once in the mix for a trade up to number 1, the Eagles still got their guy one spot lower.
It's interesting.
So we'll see. And, he's, it's all guesswork at this point, but, I trust guys more who have been in that spot, him, Casserly, those guys who've actually had that mindset to be in the place to pick these guys. I'll listen to them more than I'll listen to a guy like I don't know, Ross Tucker, who's a schmuck on the radio. So he comes out with all these opinions. It's like, dude, you've never been a GM. So I listen to those guys more than the Yahoos.
I mean, dude, that's fair, and
they're all going to be wrong, except. Yeah, I think they're going to be right. There's going to be quarterback 1 and 2 here.
Listen, I don't really have opinion on who's better between Goff and Wentz. I go back and forth on. I do have an opinion, but I go back and forth on that opinion. It changes constantly. I just hope that whoever it is, it's the guy that the Eagles wanted to get.
Yeah.
Because if they did all this shit and ended up with the runner-up,
the second guy, I guess we'll take him.
Right. Then it's going to be really shitty.
Yeah, the ugly sister, though, let me tell you, sometimes the ugly sister is a little more needy,
Yeah.
And is a little more giving.
She'll do.
Yeah.
A
little saggy here, could lose a couple.
Right.
But
she'll do.
She'll do.
She'll do.
Who's the name of that artist you were playing for?
He's, now I can't remember his name.
Wheeler,
God damn it, hold on. He's amazing. I just listened to him on Rogan's podcast too. Wheeler Walker Jr. If you guys haven't heard his album yet, it's fucking incredible. Country music, and it doesn't matter if you don't like country music. It doesn't even matter if you like music. It's just flawless, and I recommend that everyone purchase, not download, purchase this because he made it with his own money. And I'd like to
release it on his own. Funny stuff.
Oh God, it's fucking brilliant.
It's brilliant. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So anyway, there you have it. So the draft is next Thursday. We don't have a show until the week after, so it's going to be.
Well, we could do a long distance for the for opening round if people wanted to listen to it. I mean, listen, whatever.
I guess
I'm not going to be drinking.
Well, there's a chance that we make it to the end. Then
there is, right? We're not getting all fucking blasted
because otherwise,
right? Yeah, the last time we did it, we got completely shit-faced with Brian Lyon, and great time. Great time.
Well, we had fun. Brian was, he had to drive, so he was kind of tempering his drinking.
He was also bitter. Like, even though the Lions had the number 1 pick, he was still really fucking bitter.
Well, who'd they take?
They took, They took what's his?
Was it Roy Williams?
No, it was fucking dude who plays in Miami now. Fucking the dude. The fucking you know his name. God damn it.
The dude
Lions.
plays in Miami now. Who would that be? Would that be?
You don't remember, do you?
Not Tannehill.
You don't remember. Ndamukong Suh. You fucking asshole. Anyway.
Why was he bitter about Sue?
He wasn't bitter necessarily. Well, the Lions had just gone like 0-16, and they got the guy he wanted, but he was still really fucking angry because the Lions had sucked for so long.
Well, yeah, since the 50s.
Yeah, well, pretty well.
There's a team
they had Barry Sanders though, so that was 2000,
and they made it to the playoffs
once
2010, and lost to the Eagles.
And it wasn't the year that they went 0-16. I don't think because
but they did go 0-16, hence the bitterness.
Right.
See, the Tampa Bay Bucks washed away their bitterness with the Super Bowl win.
They sure did.
Detroit,
not so much.
And
now
here's the thing though.
I'm in trouble now.
Now that Megatron has retired, I think that Stafford is going to be a better quarterback.
Really?
Follow my logic here.
I'm going to try, but
40% of the targets were to Megatron. He doesn't have that safety valve now. He's actually going to have to play quarterback. And let me draw a parallel. Now, Matt Stafford is by no stretch of the imagination Brett Favre. But Brett Favre wasn't Brett Favre, okay, until he lost his top receiver.
Yeah, but he was still Brett Favre.
Well, he was still the gunslinger and all like that, but he threw he'd just blindly throw it at Sterling Sharp.
He would. Right,
so Sterling Sharp goes away, gets injured, retires. He actually has to start looking around a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to call bullshit.
Well, that's a
losing a
documented opinion that's been around for a while. Now, whether or not that happens with Stafford,
so there's two problems with your argument. Number one is Matt Stafford's not Brett Favre.
Well, yeah,
okay.
I opened up with that.
I know, but he's not. I just want to.
I opened up with that.
Okay, allow me to reiterate.
I got it.
Yeah,
and I said it.
Brett Favre, different. Fucking Hall of Famer.
Right.
Stafford's not even close.
No.
Number two is I don't think you can take a better than average quarterback, let's say, in Stafford. Right? I'll put him in that category. I don't think you can take his number one weapon away, who, by the way, is the number one fucking weapon in the NFL.
Well, he was in the argument.
Dude, come on. Okay, fine. But
Julio Jones.
Okay. Yeah, okay. But put Julio on the Lions and put fucking Megatron on Atlanta, and we're still talking about both of them. So
right, I'm just saying he's in the conversation. He's not the top. Last year. Well, for a stretch of time, yes, he absolutely was.
He's a bad motherfucker.
He's a retired guy now. He's a coach somewhere at high school.
You can't take that guy away from an above-average quarterback and expect him to become elite now. No, he's going to take a step backwards.
He's going to have to.
He's going to take a step backwards.
He's going to have to make better reads. He's going to have to actually scheme as opposed to just say, "Where's Calvin?" and throw it up and let Calvin go get it.
Yeah, or he could just become Brett Favre.
He's either going to suck
Brett Favre
or he's going
comes
to
by
improve.
and taps him on the head with the Brett Favre wand, and he becomes Brett fucking Favre. That'll help. Maybe start wearing Wrangler jeans and shit.
He might.
Wearing copper wristbands.
Hair goes gray.
Help with his fucking ankle. Send dick pics to reporters and shit.
You done? You still going? Keep going, man.
Just saying. Get addicted to pain pills. Go to rehab. Come back.
Right.
Yeah.
What else you got?
Just, I don't know. Fish on a farm and fucking.
You're missing the most obvious one.
Which one is that?
Retire, come back.
Retire, come back. Retire, come back. Right.
Yeah. So
throw a lot of interceptions. Yeah. Well, he might be able to do that.
He's already been pretty good at that.
Yeah.
But I think maybe he has a shot at actually, if he has any sort of skills whatsoever, may actually improve his quarterbacking. I'm not saying the team will be better. Yeah. He's just going to have to make more reads other than just chuck it to Calvin.
That's true. He's going to have to make more reads. Whether he can make them or not,
right? Separate
story. The other issue is, his team's not very good. So
that is a detriment.
Yeah. I mean, Green Bay was building in the right direction and had a lot of good pieces, had a pretty fucking good head coach.
Good front office.
Yeah. Still do.
Lions? Well, you know what, though? I can't remember the lady's name, but she's like 90. She's now the owner of the Lions.
Right.
now that Mr. Ford passed away.
Right.
And from all indications, she's a fireball.
Yeah?
She's like, I want to win now. Fuck all this bullshit.
Yeah.
That's why.
She's 90. She's probably like, I'm going to fucking die soon. I want to goddamn...
Let me get some playoffs in me before I go.
Right.
So, she seems to be the owner that this team is needed for, I don't know, ever.
Wow.
Yeah. So we'll see.
It'd be awesome, man.
Listen. I like to see teams that have never done anything actually start to do something.
Me too, but there's a little bit in me that's like, fuck them too. If the Eagles can't win one, fuck you too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, believe me.
When Tampa won a fucking Super Bowl, I was
crushed.
devastated.
Yeah.
Devastated.
Especially since they had to go through Philadelphia to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Bastards.
Yeah. Close down the vet and open up the link.
Yep.
Back-to-back L's to the fucking Buccaneers.
That's why I hate him.
Yeah.
That's why I hate Gruden.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck him too.
Yeah. We're not bitter.
Shit.
On the day that our team trades up to number 2.
Anyway, I think we, covered it. And you're welcome from the Fantasy Eagles guys discussing all that. Conor McGregor retired.
I know. I saw that. He's an MMA fighter.
Crazy.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about MMA.
Are you serious? He's an MMA fighter?
He's one of the best.
Dude, it's not even about best. We could argue that.
High profile, yeah, I understand.
He's the star, right? He's the face of the organization, and apparently they had a disagreement about him coming out and doing promotions. And so they pulled him from UFC 200, and he tweeted out that he was going to fucking retire.
Yeah, he'll be back. Joe Namath retired too.
Yeah. Well, this dude's 27.
I think that's
what
Namath was.
And he's on top of the fucking world.
As was Namath. But, he had a falling out with Roselle, and he said, you know what, I quit.
This dude Namath didn't have a fight coming up in 3 months that was going to clock in millions and millions of dollars.
True, because, this was Namath in the 60s, so
right.
Not a whole lot happened for millions and millions back then for athletes, So I guess we need to do this then.
Well, yeah, close her down. Check out Buzz's Barbecue, Fantasy Hockey Guys, Fantasy Baseball Guys. Random, if you haven't yet.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So the show we did last time about the food really resonated with a lot of people. We got probably more feedback on that than any.
Well, the last one we did was the comic one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody's really saying anything about the comic one.
Well, it's just us geeking out.
Yeah.
Yeah, people like the food
one. Yeah.
A lot of science in that one.
And some guys were like, hey, I've been trying it and it's working for me.
That's
which is
awesome.
Great.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
It really is. If you look into paleo or ketogenic diets, it's really not hard to lose weight, and you can eat shit that's fucking delicious. It's amazing.
Now, I've been on it, I've stepped off here and there, but for the most part, I've been on it for like 15 months.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to maintain for that long.
It is.
Which is why, like, once a month, they go, I'm going to go get a beer and a plate of fries.
That's why I recommend just going full-on paleo. Just fucking do it, man. Quit being a baby. Just do it.
Either way, that's difficult. That's even more difficult to maintain.
Once you get used to it, it's actually not too bad.
You gotta go do some recipe looking.
About it, like, you do, but what I did was I would just cook a shit ton of food on one day,
and then watch
Sunday.
your family eat it during the week.
No, they weren't allowed to touch mine.
Yeah,
they still did. Yeah, I would make 10 steaks and 15 pieces of chicken or something.
Well, a steak is easy enough to cook up fresh. You don't need to.
Yeah, but I don't have time during the day. And the thing is, if I get hungry, I'm gonna eat whatever's in front of me. So I better have a fucking meal.
Yeah, dude, a steak you can have a steak cooked in under 20 minutes.
Yeah, but I need 5.
5 steaks?
I need 5 minutes.
Oh.
I got shit to do, Kevin. Jesus Christ, I'm fucking busy.
You're not, though.
Especially now that I don't drink. I'm fucking jacked on caffeine all the time.
Dude, you're playing FIFA all day.
I haven't played FIFA in forever. I'm not playing video games, man. I'm writing fucking code. I'm on a mission. Plus, I'm doing BJJ. I did 2 classes yesterday.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
That would be Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, man. And awesome.
Yeah, man. Work has got me crushed.
Sore as shit.
I'm just crushed at work.
Oh.
Just crushed.
Whatever. People don't care about this shit. They stopped listening. Nobody's listening to us.
We're not even listening. All right, we'll be back in 2 weeks to talk about the draft.
Well, we'll be back next week to do random.
Yeah, well, people who listen to this show and not random,
Yeah, well, fuck them.
We'll be back next week with a random show, and then the week after that, we'll be back with this show.
Yeah.
So if you haven't heard random yet, do so, please. Like, subscribe, whatever you have to do.
Whatever that bullshit is.
All that.
Just let's do it. It's good.
Well, we enjoy it. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
All right, we're out. Have a good week and enjoy the draft. Go Eagles. Go Eagles.
Peace out, bitches.
Bye, bitches.